Good morning, everybody. Coming in. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. All right, so I have a question for you all. Uh, Drop a number, one, if you came to the coffee meeting. If two, if you come to the script. Number three, if you came to the letter. Or if you've done all. Bonnie, one, two, three. That's right. We're learning our ABCs and one, two, threes today. I'm just curious. Andrea, yeah, Bonnie, I knew you guys had come to all of them. Walt said seven. I don't know what to say to that, Walt. Seven. Good morning, everybody. So then what was the seven, Walt?
The seven was a very clear and distinct not one, two, or three because it could vary depending on the particular agent's personality type. I think all of these are wildly effective. It's just a matter of where's the most comfort level for the agent to start with them, right? And I'm not saying don't do them all either. I'm saying if you're like really uncomfortable, you're a new agent and you don't know how to talk to people yet, and you're like a coffee meeting just feels intimidating, then maybe you start with a phone call instead of something face to face. Maybe you start with some letters and then you see that people actually value what you have to say. And then you go, oh, well, they engaged me with my letter and the conversation's the same value. Maybe now I step into a conversation. So if you're super scared to get face to face, start with what's not face to face until you realize the value proposition didn't change. And then you start to get more and more comfortable. So
I
that's number
like
two.
it. Also, guys, get those videos on. What the heck?
Oh, I just noticed mine wasn't on. Look at that. I'm guilty. The Zoom brought me in, muted
Don't,
and no video.
don't do that. We don't show up just to where
Put a
I'll be
box
honest
over your
with you.
head.
Walt and I were on a call together Saturday, and it's incredibly rare that Walt and I don't have our video on.
Yeah.
And video disabled by host
No,
setting.
so it's not their fault.
If yeah, it shouldn't be, but we'll
We're gonna blame it on Robert.
oh, okay. Well then maybe for some reason the settings were different today. Oh yeah, you guys can you should be able to start your video now.
There we
There we
go.
go. All right, all right. Then I take back all my sass. But yeah, man, I it's pretty rare that I don't have video on. And then I was on the Chet Black training, and then he straight up said, like, basically, if you don't have video on, get out of here. And I was like, the one time I just wasn't on video. I'm always on video every day, all the time. The one time I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna not have to be a video and turn on the lights and do all the things that I do was the one time I got called out. So yeah. Heidi, welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you here. As for your question, you're new and missed all of these. This is the exact place to be because you registered for this call. So when we send out the recap email on Friday, we're going to actually give you access to all of these strategies. Um, it's part of why we actually do this. We have hundreds and hundreds of agents every month now coming in through the trainings, uh, even more hundreds coming in through the newsletters. And that's why we're doing something new and something fun today to kind of help you, if you will, catch up. Or maybe you remember one strategy and then you're like, oh, where was that? Or I kind of want to revisit that. So that's where this kind of idea came from. All right. So again, welcome everybody. So glad you guys are here. And one more time, drop one, two, three, or I don't even know how to phrase it right. Drop a number for each call that you've been to, and it's okay to say zero if you haven't been to any of these calls that we did in March. But I'm just curious. Laura said two and three in the works. Mailed 100 letters yesterday with 200 more after I get them addressed. Let's go. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, Laura, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I want to hear more messages like that. Not only did I attend, but I crushed it. I took action. That's awesome. Kevin, you're new. Welcome, man. This is a great place to be new, by the way. Great place to be new. I seriously wish I had calls and newsletters like this getting started. I would have made so much more money so much faster. I had to figure out all this crap on my own. And I'm not even kidding. Tens of thousands of dollars of not knowing any better and trying everything. All right. A minute past our normal cutoff time for getting started. Um, Bonnie, would you please accept me? So we do not have anybody else pending in the waiting room. So yeah, but if you have any issues, you can just message admin. Misa will take good care of you. All right, guys. So we're doing something new. Some of you are new, so this is all new to you. But a lot of you have been here on a weekly basis, so you know we're testing out something new called the Best of series. And basically, what it is that the first week of each month, we're gonna kind of review some of the top trainings from the previous month. A way to kind of one, just have fun together, but also recap. There's a lot of training, there's a lot of details, right? It's just a lot. And sometimes you're like, oh, I really wanted to do that thing. And then you just forget about it. Let's be real. You kind of forget about it. And you're like, oh, right, I wanted to try that coffee meeting strategy. So today is kind of a recap of that. But also, we're using AI and then you guys to create a scenario. AI generated it randomly to create a scenario and then you're going to vote on which of these strategies, don't worry, we're going to recap each one real quick, on which of these strategies you think would actually win in that scenario. And then I'll tell you why we do this because there's actually a strategic thought behind it. But first, I just kind of want to get into it and have some fun. So I'm super glad you guys are here. Um, Look at that. We even have like a little fancy transitions on it now, too. Um, so remember, real quick, how we do it here. This is a distraction free zone because, quite frankly, if you're distracted, you're distracting. So, we also have our video on. Come on now, you did not come here just to be, I don't know, how do you want to put it? Invisible, right? You came here to be present. You came here to be part of a community. If you have to turn off the phone, which by the way, I understand, I don't turn off my phone either. I got a wife, I got a kids. Like even when I'm on stage, my phone's ready for that. So I get that. But if you need to flip it over so you don't see the notifications, right? So you do not get distracted because otherwise, why'd you show up? You didn't show up to be distracted. Let's be real. Participate. Our calls are super interactive, especially today's. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you interact and then make someone's day. Take one thing you've learned from this call and post it, share it, send it directly to someone. Just bless someone and serve someone. We believe in that. That's what I'm doing for you here today. And that's what I want you to go do for our industry, right? Let's make our industry better. All right. Now, moving on. Let's just get right into it, guys. So here's the scenario. And remember, this was randomly generated by AI so that none of my biases or anybody else's biases came in. I literally just said, here's some strategies that we did in March, and I want to create a random scenario so that we can kind of gauge and guess. Okay. This is not that a scenario is better than other scenarios, but rather, or sorry, not that the strategies are better than each other, but rather learning and having some fun on which strategy you would think would work best in given scenarios. So the scenario is it's an expired listing A home in your city expired yesterday. It's priced competitively, so the listing price is around the average for the neighborhood. There's no prior relationship, okay? So you have no prior relationship or contact history with them, right? This is not your own house, okay? And then the last part is you have a 7-day window to initiate, and I want to emphasize this part, okay, before we get into all the fun and the voting. You have a 7-day window to initiate a meaningful conversation before they consider relisting elsewhere. Okay, does that make sense? A meaningful conversation. That just means that they're probably going to relist with the agent they already had, which actually does happen. Okay, so you have a narrow window just to get your name in the door, to build trust, to get the conversation started, and you're in that your name's in the hat, if you will. Okay. Now, do not worry because I'm going to do a recap of each strategy so that it's kind of fresh in your brain. And now I'm realizing the transitions are too much, but too many transitions. All right, so let's start with the recap of number one, how I close 1,080 deals with coffee meetings and how you can too. So again, if you've done this, I want to know if you've tried the coffee meetings. Share your experience and thoughts. So the first is why coffee meetings. It works with any ideal client type. It builds relationships rather than transaction ships. I'm going to definitely copyright that word. It creates mutually beneficial referral partnerships. It takes something that is normally just an expense and turns it into a profit machine, getting coffee and tea. It generates warm referrals from trusted sources over cold leads who don't want to talk to you. And it creates brand advocates who are trying to bring you deals, whether you're at home, on vacation, sick, or otherwise. So this isn't just another cup of coffee. It's leveraging powerful vendor relationships to close deals before other agents even get the call. All right. And just so you know, just to brag a little bit on Rick Silva with his stats, he has a 30% conversion rate on this. 30%. Just to give you context. If you go to NAR and they ask you what the average lead conversion is for agents, it's around 1%. Percents? 1%, right? LOs in the room, I know a couple of you are here. You're about the same rough lead conversion percentage as agents, by the way. You're right the same. Why? You're talking to the same people with the same objections and the same problems. And so, roughly, agents typically will convert just a little bit better. And guess what? To be honest, that's the fault of all the people who trained you, who never taught you that you guys should be generating leads. So, agents basically got a head start on you. Rick has closed over 1,080 transactions from this strategy. Anybody want to do a quick math on their commission? I'll tell you his over $5 million in commissions earned from this strategy. So, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, just blind, who would think right away, given the scenario, drop a coffee in the coffee emoji in the chat if you think Rick's coffee meeting would win? Don't worry, we're going to recap the other strategies. I just want to know as you're going through where people are feeling, right? All right, let's keep going. Number two, the script that booked over 3,000 listing appointments. That's actually the low end. It's actually higher than that, but I try to be conservative because I don't want to overshoot on you guys. Okay. So why just sold script? It shows immediate demand for similar homes, proves that buyers are actively purchasing in the neighborhood right now. Provides real market backed pricing data so sellers see what homes like theirs are actually selling for, not just an estimate or a guess. It's like, oh, wow, that's literally very close to me and very similar to me. That's a pretty good gauge of what my home would sell for. It gives you a natural reason to start a conversation. Homeowners are curious about what's happening on their street. If anybody lives in an HOA, you guys know how unbelievably nosy people are. It's just the truth. They just want to know what's happening, right? This helps engage off of that curiosity. It's easily accessible and targeted. You can pinpoint the listings in the MLS to focus on high demand areas. And remember, this isn't just another cold call. It's a relevant, timely conversation homeowners actually want to have. And then I'm going to give you just a quick sneak peek at the Just Sold script and how the kind of opener goes. So, a little teaser. And remember, all of these strategies, replays, scripts, templates, everything will be in the recap newsletter on Friday. That is going to be jam packed. It's going to be amazing. So, so just to read it to you real quick, this is just the opening lines. There's more to this script, and again, we just don't have time for that. But there's more to the script. I'm giving you a teaser. So you're going to call in. Hi, is this Walkie? And then usually list something along the lines of the address. Sometimes we're using Gus's version, which I love. It's much more conversational. So, hi, is this Walkie? He's going to answer. Great. This is Gus with ABC Realty, and I'm calling today because we just sold the home at 123 Main Street, and we sold it in like 5 days. And guess what? There were five buyers that missed out and weren't able to get the home. So I'm just trying to help them out by canvassing the neighborhood and looking for more potential sellers. Do you know anyone that might be thinking about relocating in the 6 to 12 months? Super conversational, super easy. And just again, to brag on the stats for this, it is one of the top performing scripts of all time. All time. It is so good, so proven. And there's a lot of great scripts out there, just so you know, but this one outperforms pretty much everyone. And for those of you who don't know, Gus runs Power ISA. So literally his team is making thousands of dials every single day. So when he says a script works, there are few people in the world who could ever have more data proven behind that script working than him. And again, over 3,000 listing appointments have been booked with this. And that's, by the way, that's just from Gus's team. That's not like all the other agents who use this. If we did that, I mean, we're probably talking about like 50,000. I mean, it'd be crazy. All right. So now I'm curious. Dropped a little, I don't know. This was what I came up with for script. I had to look through like emojis to see what would work. I typed in paper because script had nothing. So dropped it. This should come up in emojis. If you think that Gus's script would win in this scenario, I'm curious. I'm curious. So yeah, drop the little, I don't know, paper. I call it script in the chat if you think Gus's script would win. Love it, love it, love it. Where are the emojis? In the chat, there's like a little smiley face under where you would type your message. At least for me, I don't know if it's different on other people's screens or on your phone, but and then it says emoji. All right, the last strategy to cover today, from broke nanny to top 2% agent, the letter that started it all. So why mailers in particular? This letter that I'm going to show you in just a second, it cuts through the noise. Mailboxes aren't as crowded as inboxes or social media feeds. You're not competing with 1,000 other agents on one platform. That's just the facts, right? You're just not. There was a time mailboxes were an incredibly common thing. Even for me as a real estate agent, I had other agents, but people gravitated for that away from that. And so it actually left a huge gap, a great opportunity. It feels personal and intentional. A letter feels like it came from a neighbor, not a company. That makes it memorable and welcomed. It builds brand recognition over time. People need to remember you, and having something tangible that engages them is a powerful tool to make that happen. It works in any market, hot, cold, or in between. Mailers let you speak directly to homeowners on their timeline. So this isn't junk mail. This is about being the name your neighbors trust before they ever Google someone else's. And I'm going to actually show you just a quick teaser of the letter that Janine has done. It is amazing and absolutely crushes it. And in fact, I'm going to give you a couple stats. She farms over 5,600 homes. That's a lot of homes. Really take that in. 5,600 homes. Let's go. She beat out 50,000 other agents at her brokerage. and she gets a 10x ROI on her mailers. How many of you are getting a 10x on any investment you're making? Okay. And I'm talking about monetary because mailers do cost. Uh, how many? Not many, right? So I want you to drop a letter in the chat if you think Janine's letter would win in this scenario. And I want to make it very clear. She does not have to mail this. She can just go deliver this directly. Okay. So I want to be fair because we said there was a 7 day window. So I want to make clear, just to make sure this is an even playing field, if you will. The letter can be delivered manually because we know if she sent it in the mail, it wouldn't even reach in that 7 day window. All right, love it. Ooh, we got some love on the letter today. Okay, okay, I'm loving this. This is fun. Now, we're going to test this out. This is going to be our first time to ever do a poll inside Zoom. So, Misa, let's fire it up. And then we get to actually vote, guys. This is fun. And don't worry, I'm going to bring the scenario back for you so that you can have the context again, right? And read it for yourself. Or actually, Misa, should I launch the would it be better if I launched the poll? Hold on. We're still learning this part, so we practiced it once. Give me a second. Patience. Hold on, give me one more second, guys. We almost got it. Oh, I think actually we did a test and I don't think we actually updated it with the correct one. I got you guys. Hold on, give me 1 second. This is fun. We're learning together, okay? Fortunately, this is a very easy poll to type in. It's literally who would win? Coffee. I'm doing it in real time with you guys. Script, letter. All right, there we go. All right. Now save as meeting poll. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Thank you for your patience. I've never done the poll before. So, all right, here we go. I really hope this works. All right, tell me, did you guys get the poll?
We
Oh,
got it.
yes.
Should
I
be
see
about to
votes coming
pop up.
in.
Everybody get your vote in quick.
Yes, there we go. Thank you, guys. This is great. Oh, look at this. And while you're doing that, did I mention that there would be prizes today? What? Yeah, we had something special, okay, that I kind of thought of and did a whole bunch of work to make happen for you guys. So while you're voting, I'm going to go over some of the prizes that we got. So we will have a private 30-minute strategy session with 3 industry legends. So we'll actually have 3 of those. So number 1 is you'll actually be able to win with coffee meetings with Rick. So if you're ready to master Rick's exact coffee conversation framework, build more vendor relationships, and convert casual chats into real listings, this is the prize you're going to want. Okay. And then we also have Master the Just Sold script with Gus. So if you want to, maybe you want to role play directly with the script master himself. Maybe you want to work on your delivery, handle objections like a pro, and just really like book more appointments in general, then this is going to be the prize you're going to want to win. And for those of you, which I'm loving what I'm seeing, and don't worry, I will share everything with you guys once I'll share the winner. Don't worry, but you can perfect your letter with Janine. So if you want Janine to actually look at your letter, help you personalize it, boost the response rate, this is going to be the prize that you're definitely going to want. And real quick, guys, are these pretty cool prizes? Be honest with me. Seriously, be honest with me. You don't have to be nice. I just want to know. I worked really hard to make these happen, but I don't want to do it again if you guys think they suck. Okay. But if you think these are really cool prizes, Like this is what makes you money. I know that there's lots of other like pretty prizes you can get, right? But I actually want you guys to like make more money and have less stress, which often means having someone come in and guide you and help you. So a reminder too, right? Rick's strategy has closed over 1,080 transactions. Gus's strategy has booked over 3,000 listing appointments, and Janine gets a 10x ROI on her mailers. So get your votes in. We're going to close it in just a second. But I do want to tell you, um, most of you, this is totally relevant to, but this is also for the replay. How to enter, attend this call. Great job. You guys are nailing it. By the way, attend this call, vote in the poll. It looks like most of you have voted. In fact, it might just be me that hasn't voted yet. And one of the three will be required. So we want you to subscribe to the newsletter so because that's where we're going to actually announce the winners because we have three different ways that you're going to win. So each one of those 30-minute calls is how you win. So Misa, if you can drop the newsletter subscribe link in the chat so that it's easy for everybody. Remember, the newsletter is free. We send you replays, templates, scripts, everything like that. That's why I want you to subscribe there. That's where we're going to announce the winners on Friday as well of these because it's much easier, to be honest, for me to do that. So, yeah. And then one of the prizes, just so you know, will be exclusive for those who were subscribed and read at least one newsletter from the Agent Alliance. So if you're on the live call today, you're going to have a chance to win two out of the three prizes. And then you have an additional chance to win one of the three prizes if you actually read one of the newsletters. And the reason why I say that, guys, is because I actually want you to take action. I want you reading. I want you watching. I want you putting in the work because I want you to crush it, man. I mean, what would it feel like for you to be one of the success stories that we get to share all the time, right? Uh, and then just real quick, when I'm going to announce them, like I promised, winners for all three prizes will be announced in the Agent Alliance newsletter. That's this Friday, the 11th, 2 p.m. Central. And then I'll connect you if you won. I'll connect you with the person that you won with. And what we will be doing, I'll get more into how we select. All right. Any questions, by the way, real quick? We got one more minute. Any questions on prizes? Just want to make sure they're clear. This is the first time I've done this, so it's okay if like some of it was confusing and you're like, I totally didn't even understand this part. I'm learning too. So I'm learning too. We've never done this before, but I thought it'd be a really awesome thing, and I hope you guys will stick to the end because I actually want to ask you some questions about this. All right, we got the votes in, guys. Who is ready for the results? Come on now. Let me see some hands. Let's go. I'm truly, it's so cool to see like everybody and how they've been voting and things like that. So I'm pretty excited. All right, hold on. Where'd my poll results go? Oh, there we go. They disappeared on me for a second. I was like, what? I was scared, man. All right. So, by popular vote, that means you guys here in the call. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, we've got loan officers in here. We've got top producing agents who have done one or all three of these strategies. We got new agents. So, we have a pretty diverse group here for this perception. So, it's not like this group is all cold calling. So, they're all going to say cold calling, or this group is all letters or coffee meetings, right? So, we have a diverse group. All right. So, all right, now I have to hit, I'm going to test this. I'm pretty sure I hit end poll now. And then I can share results. Okay, here we go. Give me 1 second. I had to make 3 slides because I didn't know who the winner was. So now I have to go find the slide of the winner. All right, here we go. By popular vote, the winner is Letter. And I'm sharing results. Can you guys see the results? Are they popping up on your screen? Sweet. This is so cool, man. I don't even know. I was so excited to do this with you guys. Like, all the other trainings are really intense and they're a ton of work, so it's really fun. Yeah. I can't believe it was one vote off that Letter won. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild to me, honestly. One vote. I can't wait to tell Janine too. She's gonna think this is awesome. Now, I have a question for you guys though. Do you think the most advanced AI will agree with you? What do you think? Genuinely asking, what do you think? Do you think the most advanced AI available will agree with you? No. Okay, okay. A bunch of no's. Kathleen, maybe. There we go. I'm with you, Kathleen, right? Just a maybe. I don't know. All right, here we go. So the AI's top pick is, and just so you know, this is the most advanced AI, spent a ton of time making sure that the AI reasoned this through and could back it up on why. Okay? I don't take it haphazardly. I didn't go into free version of ChatGPT and said, who's going to win? I made sure it understood because I really wanted to have a ton of fun with you guys today. All right, so the AI's top pick is Script. The Just Sold Script. Man. So do you agree? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Like, do you guys kind of agree? Do you think that it was pretty solid? I'm going to give you some of its reasoning, by the way. I really wanted to share this with you too because it's a great lesson, right? So, why the Just Sold script wins based off of advanced reasoning. One is immediate directness. The Just Sold script's strongest advantage is immediacy. You can call instantly, you can call endlessly, ensuring that you're basically going to get contact within the 7-day window. All right. Super cool. Makes a lot of sense. High personalization and relevance. So when you're referencing a recent relevant sale to someone who just failed to sell, there is this deep fear that comes. What's wrong with me? We've all felt that, right? Anybody try the same strategy as someone else and then see them succeed and you fail, and then you go, what's wrong with me? Why did I fail? Right? This is the same feeling. And there's a good chance that seller already knows that that happened, already knows because they're looking and they're afraid and they're struggling, right? So it gives you instant credibility and market knowledge right off the bat. And the sellers, especially when they're expired, they care deeply about the results. Why didn't I sell? And why did this one? So it gives you incredible leverage. Okay. And then just overcoming trust barriers quickly, which we kind of said. So mailers and coffee are actually extremely higher on the trust rating, extremely higher, without a doubt. But they just don't get that immediate conversation going, right? They're essentially an indirect way to set it up. And so while in the long term they're extremely powerful, if you're trying to get in before they relist, you're going to have to go a very direct route. Okay. And then again, too, it leverages in a way to where right now they're not looking for a friend most of the time. They're looking for why the results didn't happen. And so it actually gives you a great window to just come in and be more direct with them. That's actually very hard to do most of the time. It's very hard to just go into someone's life and get straight factual with them. But this gives you that opportunity. Okay. What do you guys think? Think those are pretty good reasons? Think they're pretty fair? Spot on. Genuinely curious. Like, drop it in the chat. I made this. I made AI work for it. I spent some time on this too. And just so you know how much time I spent on it to make sure it understood and had the correct context, it initially, believe it or not, it did pick letter first, which is funny, right? And then I was like, let me give you the proper context because I realized I had not given it. And that's part of why I gave you guys more context, right? So now let me give you some final thoughts, and we're gonna just have some fun together, okay? So some of the final thoughts to consider is all three of these strategies are proven, powerful, and have helped thousands of agents secure listings, close deals, and just build incredible businesses nationwide. We're talking in rural towns We're talking in metro cities. We're talking the market's hot, the market's cold. It doesn't matter. All three of these strategies have and continue to work regardless. Regardless of market, regardless of who's president, regardless of who has majority, regardless of all of that stuff, these strategies continually achieve top results. So the real winner, sounds so cliche, but honestly, guys, it's the truth, is the one who just takes action and on any strategy, any of these strategies, and just does it consistently. Just does it consistently. And don't worry, I see tons of questions. I love this, guys. We're going to get into questions. I can't wait to do Q&A with you. So the real key to real estate success, and loan officers in the room, I hope you're listening to this because you have not been taught this either. That's why we run the programs that we do. That's why we hooked up with Paul too, is you need to be doing the same exact activities as agents. Overcoming fears, understanding objections. All of the same reasons someone doesn't work with an agent is the exact same reason someone won't work with a loan officer. Exact same reasons. And so if you have two competent, capable individuals who understand the fears of the people they're working with, you are twice as likely to overcome, and not only overcome, but in a shorter time frame, succeed. Okay? The other important part is that it's not about having one perfect strategy. You can have your main one, right? But the point of giving you this scenario was to teach you to remember that if you have a short time frame, you might have to deviate from your typical plan. If you're trying to accomplish a very specific result in a short period of time, you might need to reanalyze and reevaluate how you're spending your day. Right? And too often, we kind of get complacent with just doing the same old, same old. But if the same old isn't giving you the results you want, you've got to reflect. You've got to reflect. And just a real quick recap. So the Just Sold script, great for quick deals. It really is. It's pretty hard to beat a Just Sold script in this context. It's immediate trust because it's based on data, right? And it's a direct leverage based approach. You're leveraging someone else's, either your own listing or someone else's, to immediately come in and prove the value of what you're bringing, right? For the one letter, it's targeted authority. You're targeting very specific homeowners. It's personalized. You can't run an ad that says your name specifically. I can't run an ad on Facebook that goes Lisa Hopkins. I can't do that. It's not possible. But a letter, you can mail out 50,000 letters and every single one of them have a different person's name on them, direct and personal. So it's very powerful and it gives you long-term credibility. It is so hard to not love and trust the person who is constantly sending you awesome letters that engage with you, warm you up, make you feel good. Well, most of it you're gonna want to automate. So you're going to have a much higher efficiency rate. Yeah. And then coffee meetings. These are deep relationships, steady referrals, and their long-term growth. These are designed to where you're not actually having to talk to a homeowner until they basically already decided to work with you. These are coming from trusted partners who already are working with your clients and are saying, yeah, for your real estate stuff, you've got to go to Walt. You've got to go to Chris. Okay. All right. So remember, you're already, all of you should be subscribed to the newsletter, but I always remind you because you're shooting yourself in the foot. One is in the newsletter, I'm going to drop in. If you won one of the 3 exclusive coaching calls, don't worry, one person cannot win more than one. Okay. We're not doing that. But what we will do is we are now, and I didn't reveal this at first because I didn't want to skew the votes. If you voted, let's say, letter, and you are also a winner, you'll get to win from the letter coaching call because that shows that that was something that you really connected with and wanted to be able to. Okay. And then same for how else you voted. We wanted to make sure that this was related to what you wanted. If you were like, listen, I'm all about scripts. I don't care about, the letter. I didn't want you on a coaching call for that. So I wanted you to put where you think, man, where's the winner? I've used this strategy. I know this strategy. Maybe I've attended the call. All right. We're going to put all of the full replay, slides, bonus resources for all the strategy calls. I'm going to link you to all of them. You're going to get hooked up for that. So it's going to be amazing. I'm going to also give you quick tips on how to avoid the most common mistakes agents and LOs make with each of these strategies. They're very, very common and they will absolutely kill your results. And let me ask you guys, how many of you have maybe ever sent a mailer before and got no results? Anybody? Right. It's from the mistakes that most people make and why they don't get results with mailers. How many of you have maybe done a cold call or maybe you've tried to get a vendor to send you a referral before and you just didn't get results? It's from these most common mistakes. Yeah. So that's why I do that and I always get them is I want to help you avoid the things that typically will prevent you from getting the results you want. All right. And again, we can drop the link in the chat, but we already did earlier. We'll do a Q&A. This is just a reminder of the prizes that we got for you. I'm so excited. You don't even know. It was so cool when I went to them and pitched this idea to each of them, and every single one of them was like, absolutely, I'm in. Absolutely, I'm in. I was like, we got good people, man. I bring you good people. All right, guys. So now let's do a Q&A. Drop them in the chat. I'm really excited. And also feedback. Give me some feedback. What did you think of today's call? Um, give me some pointers. Good, bad, hopefully not ugly. I try my best, okay? I shower, you know what I mean? Like, but I can only do so much. But yeah, give me some feedback. I'd love to know. And you love today's call? Sweet. Trina, give me a second. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Oh, I just realized I left the poll results up the whole time. Just taking up your whole screen. Forgive me, guys. All right. I love the questions coming in. I'm gonna start answering them. Okay, so when you say, um, Trina, thoughts on using EDDM for mailer? This has been great. Can you um, give me more context on how you've used it? And I can help you unmute so that I just got to find you. There you are. And then now you should be able to.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
Just thoughts on using EDDM because I do live in a fairly rural area, so I can do EDDM for certain routes a lot less expensively than I can sending out say 100 letters to my subdivision.
Okay. So every door direct mail through the USPS, correct?
Yes, that's exactly
Just
what I'm
want to make sure because there's other companies that advertise EDDM. And so I just want to make sure. So everybody, just to be clear, what she's asking is like, okay, when it comes to sending out these mails, can I use the United States Postal Service has a program called EDDM, and it basically allows you to service your local community. It's not as targeted and specific. It's usually like, well, I mean, it does let you do neighborhoods.
Yeah, it does because it lets you. That's why I've used it before, is because I can actually pick the postal route
Yeah, so the most
and look at
important part is consistency, like any strategy, but especially mailers, and then what you're sending them. Those are actually two of the biggest mistakes people make with mailers is they're not consistent. They send out one just sold flyer to 500 people and they're like, I'm totally going to get a listing from this. And then they never hear anything and they go, mailers don't work. The second thing is they just send stuff that like people don't care about. Like people just don't. I mean, even just solds, like people don't actually care typically about just solds unless you make it relevant to them, right? You have to make it relevant to them. Um, so it really comes down to that. If you use Janine's kind of process, because there's not many who've done it at the level Janine has. Not to say there aren't people who have good mailer strategies. My mailer strategy is pretty good, but it's not at Janine's level. I'm being real with you. Mine's good. I've gotten consistent results from it, but it's not at Janine's level. So if you're using her strategy, what I would do is I would just test it out. Test out one batch if you will, and then go to a small group because you don't have to necessarily do 10,000, right? Janine does 5,600. So most people think they have to do that many. You need to do hundreds, that's for sure. You need to do hundreds and it needs to be consistent. So I would test out both, maybe test it out for a while, as long as you're using exactly Janine's strategy for each test. So that's a fair test and see if any, but I would start with EDDM for sure.
Thank you. I've used
Yeah.
it for postcards and stuff in the past, but mostly it was like on one side it had some information and on the back it had like a recipe or a drink recipe for the holiday or a snack recipe or something like that. And I never got anything. And I've done those probably 5 or 6 times, but I'm gonna try the letter.
Yeah. I'm excited. Keep us posted on that, okay?
I will.
Sweet. Appreciate you. All right. So you guys love the recap. Bonnie, when will the replay go out? All the replays, slides, bonus resources, strategies, everything is going out Friday. Friday's newsletter, 2 p.m. Central. Because that's so far the most consistent time you guys open, which is so strange. I never would have thought that. Mindy, great. It's nice to see what is working when you feel you are on an island. You are not on an island anymore. No way, not with us. Man, we try so hard to make you feel like you're getting tens of $1,000s worth of coaching for free. Like that is to where you go like you almost feel guilty. You're like, shouldn't I be paying for this? I want you to feel that way. That's the feeling I want you to have because then I know that I've delivered enough value, right? So I'm so glad you're not an island. So, Desiree, I wasn't able to attend all the original calls, so this was awesome. That was kind of the heart behind it, right? Is that maybe you missed a live call, maybe you wanted to participate more, maybe you just forgot, and you're like, "Oh, right, that's right, we did have that strategy," and so now you're like, "I really wanted to put that," and so yeah, awesome. Sunny, on this script, you mentioned finding a just sold at 5 days in market. Is it best to find a comparable home or one that sells the fastest? Yeah. Oh, looks like Walt kind of gave some advice in there already. Yep. Walt's spot on. So basically, Sunny asked, okay, when we're trying to do the just sold script, if we don't have one of our own that sold, particularly if you can in that neighborhood, then how do we go get a listing and what type of listing do we go get? The goal is that you get the most similar listing possible. People are incredibly scrutinous. Is that a word? Scrutinous? Sounds like a word, right? I don't know. People love to scrutinize things. There, we'll just keep it. I like scrutinous. That sounds good. I'm going to use it. People are very scrutinous, okay? They will go, well, that house has brick and it's painted white. And therefore, that's why it's sold for $2 million. And, right? Like, they will do that. So the more similar you can get in a home, the better. And then most recent in that order, right? That's the sweet spot. Extremely similar and it sold recently, right? But honestly, like I talked to Gus about it, he said he's gone back 3 months even on just solds before, and it hasn't really made a big difference. And you guys will know, you're a local agent, you'll know if some extreme thing happened to where in 3 months prices went up, right? And rose in value by 20 or 50%. We all know that's not likely. It's not even likely that they'd go up, noticeable difference. So accuracy of the listing, making it really comparable to where the seller looks at this and goes, oh yeah, that house really is similar to mine. That's going to be the number one priority. Does that make sense, Sonny? Sweet. All right. Let's see. Any. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Laura. So Laura was sharing the difference between direct mail, which is literally you can either mail it directly or you can use a direct mail service that helps you. Is that people can opt out of direct mail pretty easily. But when it comes to EDDM, as far as I know too, I think you're right, Laura. As far as I know, like you are the one that has to tell them basically throw it in the trash because the USPS, for as far as I know, doesn't have an effective opt-out service for EDDM. That's why some of us, even though we've never signed up for something, are still getting it, and we don't even know how to opt out of it. Or you have to go through the manual process of each company that comes in with EDDM. You have to go to them directly and try to. But again, there is pros and cons, so I would definitely look them up for yourself and see kind of what works best. And again, you'll learn real quick. You'll learn real quick what works for your audience, what works for you. So, consistency is the key to mailers, but how often do you suggest to send them? So again, it depends on the goal and the timeline. Quite honestly, I would follow exactly what Janine does. Janine's process is amazing, and I know that every single month she is sending, I believe it's like one or two, maybe even three in a month to her farms. Because again, like if you think about it, like you have to stay in front of them, just like any other lead gen strategy. And if I send one a month, and let's say I send it at the beginning of the week, all right, and I sent it to Chris. Chris is going to be like, oh, cool, I like this. Yeah. But if he's not immediately ready to do anything real estate, even just talk about real estate at that moment, he's going to say, that's cool, and probably throw it away. Now, the good thing is Janine makes hers interactive. So she actually has games and QR codes and things that make Chris engage more. So he might go, okay, I'm going to go do the thing, but then I'm still going to throw it away. So the impression was made, but 1 week later, he will forget entirely who I am. It just sucks. It's the truth. But the good news is he's going to get another postcard that's going to remind him again, engage with him again in a friendly way. And after about 10, 12 times of doing this and him like participating, so I know he actually got the mail and engaged with it, then he'll actually start to remember who I am. Then he'll start to feel, when he thinks real estate, he will start to think of me because I've made that impression. So it's going to be pretty consistent, Laura. It's going to be pretty consistent. Let's see. Desiree, did you have more questions? Did you still want to come off mute? Yes? Okay. Asked to unmute. Here you go. All right. What you
Hey.
got, Desiree?
Okay. It wasn't necessarily a question, but to your point, you were saying that you give us content that is like other people would pay a lot of money for. I can vouch for that. So for everybody on the call, I just got licensed in October on a team with Robert, and that was game changing for me. I don't know what I would have done without that. But before joining a team, I did look into all these companies that are offering those things, right? FISBO scripts and all the stuff that we get here just for being part of the brokerage, and it's free for us. Thousands of dollars, thousands. And once I started to get into the Agent Alliance and get into these other groups throughout Epic and with you guys, I was like, wait a minute, I don't need to buy anything. They're giving me all of this, you know? So one
I
of
know
the
Tom
ladies that I
Ferry
talked
hates
to,
us.
yeah, like somebody that I talked to, she said, but did they guarantee that you're going to make $125,000 in your first year? I said, they've given me what I needed to do that in 90 days. So I think this is
Hey, Andrea, I
goodbye.
see
And
you.
she was like, oh, you know, so I'm like, no, it's fine. So just, you know, if there's anybody curious, yeah, for sure. If you've never been approached by one of those people or looked into those people, they're out there and it is so expensive.
It
So
is.
yeah, just want to say
Got
thank
you.
you.
Got you.
It's for real. Yeah.
Thank you, Desiree. We work really
Mhm.
hard. We work really hard.
Yeah.
Mindy says, where do we find the phone numbers for calling people? So
Mm.
you're almost always going to want to use a service like RedX, Vulcan, something like that. They're not terribly expensive. Remember, one sale ever generated from it will pay for that for 10, 12, 13 years. Okay. So, but you're definitely going to want to use a service like that. It's just so much more efficient and effective to do that. Now, Walt has a strategy that he does. I'll get him in to teach us sometime where in some places, you can go to your utility company and get something like absentee owners lists and things like that. And you can actually get addresses, phone numbers. So there are other ways, but truthfully, the most simple and effective way are either manually scrubbing it from websites that allow it, that might post it, might be a for sale by owner or something like that, or using a service like RedX or Vulcan and stuff like that to find those numbers. Kevin, just to be clear, you call an expired using Just Sold script? Absolutely. The Just Sold script is so phenomenally good. It is so relevant. You could call your past clients with it. Let's role play real quick, right? So I turn around and Andrea is my past client and I'm looking for listings. I'm going to follow certain metrics. If Andrea bought her home last week, she's probably not ready to sell. So obviously, let's use some common sense. But here's the thing. Andrea might sell in a year. I have had clients never assume the timeline, but be respectful of it. You know, statistically, they're just not going to sell in a week. So I might turn around. I'm going to call Andrea. She's my past client. And I just want to prove that this works with past clients. I'll call her and be like, Andrea, what's up? And, knowing Andrea and I, we're going to have some great lingo. I'm going to be like, what's up, girl? Listen, I know I haven't talked to you in a bit, but I just sold a house a few doors down from you. Okay. And what's crazy is it sold in 5 days. But I have some sad news, okay? And I need your help, okay? I have 6 buyers, yes, 6 buyers who were not able to get that house. And I don't want to leave them hanging. Do you know anybody on your street, across town? I don't care. My buyers just need some help that would be looking to sell in the next 6 to 12 months. And Andrew's going to answer whatever she says. It might be her. It might be her coworker. Right? I'm never going to assume. But you see how easy that conversation was? It's fantastic for past clients. Now, obviously, it was actually designed for cold calling, but just a lot of agents miss the opportunity of using it for past clients as well. So I just wanted to show you, like, you use it for past clients. And again, loan officers in the room, everything I just said, you can absolutely say as well. Do you not have buyers? Do you not have agents who have buyers? Right? You can use the exact same strategy. So, and then again, yeah, it works for expireds, especially expireds. It's fantastic for them. It works for sale by owners. It works for pretty much anything. It just works for straight cold calling, right? Nobody's raised their hand or looking, but you are trying to genuinely find these listings for your clients, for leads. Just Sold works for them. It's a great script. Andrea, I paid over $30K for coaching in the past. Dang, we gotta, like, Chris, we gotta start charging people a commission for how much we save them on coaching. We won't charge you for coaching. We just want a percentage of the coaching we saved you. Right? It's like debt consolidation companies, right? Don't they do that? They're like, if we help drive down your debt, we want to like get a percentage. Is it something like that? I forget. Something like that. I know there's people who do stuff like that, right? If we save you money, we want a percentage of how much we save you. Yeah, let's see. What if you didn't sell it for the Just Sold script? What if I didn't sell it? It's totally fine, right? Because you can just slightly tweak the words. Instead of saying, all right, so let's use it. I'll give you a couple different scenarios. You're on a team, then you say, my team, which is truthfully. We don't lie here, and we don't like operate in the gray areas. No way. We're ethical and we're super transparent. My team just sold this. Well, Robert, I'm not on a team, or my team didn't just sell one. Fine. Then you go, my brokerage. My brokerage just sold. It's, the consumer really doesn't care. You just want to have a naturally flowing conversation. Well, Robert, my brokerage didn't just sell. Fine. Okay. One of my colleagues, I mean, a fellow real estate agent, the consumer really doesn't care as long as it flows naturally, as long as you sound confident and clear and you keep it relevant to them. So don't overthink it. Kevin, you're in the 100K and 100 Days challenge. Let's go. Oh man, I'm excited for you. That 100K challenge, that was built off of Chris, Walt, and myself. We just dissected what we did to become successful in real estate. And then we said, okay, if we condense that into a plan and said the fastest way, notice how we didn't say 100K in 30 days. We don't have any way to prove or make that happen. We only stick to the facts. What we do know is if you follow the plan, you can put 100K in the pipeline. And we have people who've put 200K in the pipeline. And we even have one who has 308,000 in the pipeline from the plan. It works. It's so effective. And what's so cool is that we've tested it on a micro level with loan officers and agents. Then we rolled it out for agents, improved it on the agent side. And now we're bringing it to the loan officers to prove it on the loan officer side and create alliances where they actually work together to double each other's business, support one another, and give the best experience for the client, the consumer, that they could possibly ask for. So it is awesome, and I'm excited. 10 o'clock. Any last questions, comments? feedback. I really hope you guys had a blast today. I was super excited to do this one with you. I wanted to kind of change it up and what would you guys think about having this once a month? Once a month, we basically do the exact same thing, just with the trainings from that month. What do you guys think? Would that be pretty cool? Yeah, you feeling it? There we go. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, well, guys, any last questions for you? I got a couple more minutes that I'm willing to give to you. So, any last questions that you have for me? Don't be shy. You know I'll do my best. If not, if we're good, then let's call it. And remember, Friday, 2 p.m. Central, newsletter will go out. Winners will be announced, replays, slideshows, bonus resources, everything you could ask for is going to be there. So, yeah, just keep an eye out for that. And I'm excited, guys. So, thank you. Appreciate you. And let's just call it, man. Let's just go crush it and have the best rest of our week possible. So thank you for being here and looking forward to hearing from you guys on Friday. Let's go. Bye, everybody. Misa, I'll let you get close it down when you're ready.